I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. After the second longest work stoppage in baseball history, players and owners reach a deal on a new collective bargaining agreement. The lockout ends after 99 days, and the plan is to play a full 162-game schedule, with opening day tentatively set for April 7th, 1 week later than originally scheduled. At the Big East quarterfinals in New York today, the top seed had to win it at the end.
Parker inbounds, dumps it off underneath for Bynum. It's loose on the floor. He spins out of trouble. He dumps it off to Bynum. Up the floor to Durham. Durham drives and slams. Point for the cut. It's over. The Flyers will advance.
John Rook and Joe Hassett on Learfield. Providence closes the game on a 9-2 run to beat Butler 65-61. Nate Watson with 26 to lead the way. At the ACC quarterfinals, Duke beats Syracuse 88-79. In the NBA tonight, 1 month after their blockbuster trade, the Nets and 76ers meet in Philadelphia.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Ryan Clark will be in studio with us about 30 minutes from right now. Looking forward to that. We're talking a little Jaden Daniels. Really want to have RC in to talk about his new venture. If you haven't paid attention, he and Channing Crowder and Fred Taylor have something that they call The Pivot, and it is absolutely blowing up sports media. It's incredible what they're doing if you haven't paid attention. So RC will be in here to talk about that about 30 minutes from right now. As we speak, LSU basketball is taking on Missouri at the SEC tournament, and the LSU Tigers are having no trouble at all with the Tigers from Como. It's 34-18 with 3:02 to play in the first half. LSU started out on fire. We've talked a little bit about Mizzou because they played at the end of February, just a few weeks ago, and Missouri's a terrible basketball team. They're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country. They really have one player that physically could present a mismatch, and that's Kobe Brown, a big 6'8", 240-pound forward, big, thick-bodied guy. Only scored 2 points in the game in Baton Rouge, and he's sitting on 4 points right now at just 2 of 4 from the field. LSU is contesting everything. They've really cranked up the defensive pressure on Missouri, who right now has turned the ball over in the first half already 13 times. Missouri has 13 turnovers with 2:46 to play in the first half. LSU has been pretty efficient shooting the three ball. They're 4 of 9 from the three-point line. I don't love them shooting a whole bunch of threes, but I can take 4 of 9, of course. 12 of 22 from the floor, shooting 54%. Tigers are attacking the basket. They're really playing their game, which is fantastic to see. So LSU having no trouble with Missouri as of right now in this ball game as they're approaching halftime. And realistically, the best thing that could happen in this ball game for LSU is to maintain this lead going into half, come out in the first, say, 8 minutes of the second half, maintain this lead, and then empty your bench. The best thing that could happen for Will Wade is understanding that you win this game, you're playing Arkansas tomorrow, and it looks like LSU is going to win. They're having no trouble at all, but a long way to go. If you win this game handily and you're able to empty your bench and not have to run your starters for 30-plus minutes in this ball game. It's a huge plus going into tomorrow. So you'd get your guys a little bit of rest and not have to really – I mean, look at the game that preceded this one that went to overtime with Florida and Texas A&M, a couple of teams that are bubble teams that are fighting for, their NCAA tournament lives. And that game went to overtime. So you'd love it for LSU if they could maintain this and find a way to empty the bench and just maintain this blowout here throughout this ball game. Before they left for Tampa, Will Wade was pretty adamant about seeding in the big dance, and it seems pretty obvious, obviously, where you're seated matters about how much you can make a run, and it's something that he's very aware of, and this is what Will said before the team left for Tampa.
The 5, 6, and 7 all win the first-round game between 60 and 64% of the time. So your odds of winning the first-round game are about the same. The 7 wins the second-round game and go to the Sweet 16 18% of the time. The frickin' 6 wins at 31% of the time. All right, so you can almost double your odds, not quite double, but and then the 5 wins it a little bit more than that, closer to I think 40 or 41. So like you've got you're just increasing the odds at the 5, 6, and 7 of losing that first game are all tough. All right, the 10, 11, and 12s are all very good. And, in fact, the 11s and 12s, you can get power conference teams, right? So those teams are all good. And, you're going to win 6 out of 10 of those roundabout. But once you get to that second one, the numbers really are different between being a 5 or a 6 or a 7 or an 8.
It's a guy who very much, we talk about it all the time, Will Wade has broken down the schedule into a math equation. It's the way he approaches it. And so you can tell he's trying to increase his percentage. The higher the seed, obviously, the better chance you make a deeper run in the NCAA tournament. People have asked all the time, hey, how deep can this LSU team go? Well, they can go to a Final Four. I mean, we've seen it before. We saw Loyola of Chicago go to Final Four. We talk about it all the time. George Mason made it as an 11 seed in 06 with LSU. And Butler played in a championship. We see it. But you have to put yourself in a position to be able to make that run. So where is LSU right now? Joe Lunardi, coming into today, updated his bracketology. Jerry Palm has LSU as a 5 seed. And today, Jerry Palm has Gonzaga as the number 1 overall seed, Indiana as the first team out, and SMU as the last team in. When you look at the bubble, the last 4 buys, this is all according to Lunardi, he's got Michigan, Rutgers, Notre Dame, Creighton as the last 4 buys. The last 4 in, Wyoming, Wake Forest, Xavier, SMU. First 4 out, Indiana, Dayton, BYU, Virginia, who won last night over Clemson. And then the next 4 out, that's where you find the 2 SEC teams. It's Virginia Tech, VCU, Florida, and Texas A&M, who played today, and of course A&M beat Florida. So it would stand to reason that Florida, if this holds, is out, but A&M is still trying to play its way in if they can make a deep run here. As for LSU, if you're looking at the 68-team bracket, look no further than the South region, which is where you find, in Lunardi's bracket, you find LSU as a 5 seed playing the 12 South Dakota State, which they would have to be an AQ to get in, as we've talked about with Otter. We've been riding them Jackrabbits, but LSU South Florida would be the 5-12 game. The 4-13 matchup would be UCLA against Princeton in Lunardi's bracketology. So the bracketologists have LSU as a 5. Will Wade did mention also before they left what type of opportunity presents itself in Tampa for LSU.
We've got some really good opportunities. First off, the Missouri-Ole Miss game, we don't need to knock our seeding down by. We don't need to give back what we got against Alabama. And then if we can beat them, you got a crack to help yourself again. From then on out, you got really good cracks to help yourself.
That's what tomorrow would be, provided they maintain. So there's 4 seconds left here before the half. LSU's up 39-23. Tigers are inbounding under their goal. They're going to try to get one last shot up. It's a Darius Days 3, and it does not go. So they're going to go to the half with LSU leading 39-23. So Tigers are up 16 at the half against Missouri. 20 minutes of basketball to go to advance and play Arkansas tomorrow. But you heard Will Wade say it there about the SEC tournament being an opportunity. Now, as we said, bracketology has LSU right now as a 5 seed. I think maybe I'm just a little bit hesitant to go there because of what happened last year. where LSU played into the SEC tournament final and was a missed tip-in away from winning the SEC tournament championship and still ended up in the 8-9 game. Of course, which they won the 8-9 game and then against Stony Brook. And then they lost to St. Bonaventure. And then lost to Michigan, the 1 seed. So forgive me for being a little skeptical. I would tend to just look at bracketology and then my inclination to say, okay, the bracketologists say LSU's a 5. I'm just kind of innately bumping them back a line to a 6. Let's see if they can maybe make a deep run in this field and what might happen. But they got a great shot tomorrow with Arkansas. Should they hold on again here, they'd have a great shot tomorrow against Eric Musselman and the Hogs. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. We will talk some LSU baseball. Tigers beat McNeese last night. If you haven't heard, one bit of housekeeping. They did move tomorrow's first pitch, the Friday game against Bethune-Cookman, up to noon. They're expecting rain tomorrow night in Baton Rouge, so they moved the opener up to noon on Friday, so they'll get that series started off. The first game might be over by the time we start the show here tomorrow. All right, it is After Further Review. Ryan Clark's going to be in studio with us later this hour. We're going to spend a couple of segments with RC. Looking forward to having him back in studio with us. We always appreciate his time. So we're going to flip our order like we normally do. When we come back, we'll go around the SEC. We'll take a look at the SEC tournament, some baseball scores as well, and set the stage for this evening and tomorrow there in Tampa. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air. Tell you about them all the time, and I love sharing great reviews of the folks over at River City's 1 Hour Air. This one came in 5-star Google review from a guy named Raymond Blunt, who said Joseph and his partner arrived on time. They were extremely professional and prompt. They quickly identified the culprit of my issue and gave recommendations. I will definitely recommend this company to anyone. 5 stars. Again, another 5-star Google review from River City's 1 Hour Air, for River City's 1 Hour Air, because you see it time and time again. Expertly trained technicians, continuing education. They are trained how to deal with customers when they're in the home, and they're expertly trained to deal with your issues. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Have a fantastic customer service experience. 752-0001.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
You guys are out on the front lines, fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The women's basketball coaches in the SEC are a bunch of cowards who got their tail whipped this year and wouldn't vote for Kim Mulkey to be Coach of the Year, which might have been the most obvious thing aside from today being Thursday. But the writers at The Athletic, not cowardly at all. They were able to take an objective look at what Kim Mulkey did in turning in the single greatest turnaround in the history of the Southeastern Conference, taking a team that was 9-13 a year ago to 25-4 this season. And for her efforts, The Athletic has named Kim Mulkey Coach of the Year, National Coach of the Year, by the way. So congrats to The Athletic for having a spine. And certainly congrats to Kim Mulkey on an incredible job well done. For what it's worth, Kim Mulkey is also a semifinalist for the Naismith Coach of the Year award. So she's still in the mix for another National Coach of the Year award. And here's hoping she lands it. She's certainly deserving for the job that she's done. I can't imagine, not having seen every single women's college basketball team throughout the course of this entire season, I can't say definitively, but I think you would be hard-pressed to find anyone who has done a better job this season than the job that Kim Mulkey did at LSU. Of course, the Lady Tigers hosting a watch party on Sunday at the Maravich Center for a Selection Sunday to see what their fate will be for the NCAA tournament. There are some theorists who are suggesting that maybe LSU and Baylor might just end up in the same region. That would be a hell of a lot of fun. And if you're looking for storylines, that would be one of them for the women's tournament. If Kim Mulkey were able to run up against her former team, a place where a program that she built, if with her new squad, she was able to take care of business. So we'll look for that on Sunday for Selection Sunday. But congrats to Kim Mulkey on the Coach of the Year honors from The Athletic. And certainly good luck in the Naismith Coach of the Year balloting. She's very, very deserving. All right, it is after further review. We're glad you're with us. Always love telling you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank or vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows. You know the drill by now. Pick up the phone. Give them a buzz, 288-8138, 288-8138, all over the state of Louisiana. West into Texas, east into Mississippi, Alabama, the Panhandle of Florida. They've done apartment complexes in Tallahassee and Memphis, Tennessee, and Atlanta, Georgia. All over the Southeast, Relief Windows can help you out. 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door, siding, ReliefWindows.com. Okay, a little bit early because we got Ryan Clark coming in studio in just a smidge. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
All right, let's get you caught up on the goings-on down in Tampa at the SEC basketball tournament. So there were two games on Wednesday. By now you probably know the results. In the first game, Ole Miss fell to Missouri, ending a miserable year for Kermit Davis and the Ole Miss Rebels. Mizzou, a 72-60 winner. Kobe Brown had 16 and 7 in that game for the Missouri Tigers. They advanced to play LSU. That game presently is at the half. The second game was Georgia and Vanderbilt had absolutely no problem blowing the doors off of woeful Georgia, which finishes the season 6-26. Vandy, an 86-51 winner, so they advance. The big news out of Athens, though, Tom Crean and Georgia are expected to part ways. after a really terrible run there in Athens for the former Marquette and Indiana head coach. But Georgia must give Tom Crean 7 days advance notice in writing before they can formally fire him. So you won't actually hear formal word of their separation for another week. Earlier today in the first game, two teams that are battling for their tournament lives, Texas A&M and Florida, they needed overtime, but ultimately it was the Aggies that came out an 83-80 winner. Coleman from Texas A&M had 22 and 8 to lead the Aggies in that ball game. It was Reeves who led Florida with 21 and 6. So the Gators, who were squarely on the bubble, they lose that ball game. Suffice to say, they're going to be out there under Mike White. Texas A&M and Buzz Williams, they still have a pulse. 21 and 11 overall, 9 and 9 in the league, and now a win over Florida as they advance. Opportunity for a nice win if they can get it on day 3 of the tournament. The rest of the action today after LSU, Missouri, the third game of the day is Mississippi State against South Carolina, and then you'll have Vanderbilt against Alabama. Of course, Vanderbilt was a winner in the ball game yesterday. The one matchup that we already know for Friday, as we mentioned with Texas A&M advancing, Texas A&M will take on Auburn in the first game tomorrow in Tampa, while Arkansas awaits the winner of this game. Tennessee and Kentucky await the winners of the two night games tonight there in the SEC basketball tournament. On the diamond, we know that LSU was a winner last night against McNeese. Also around the conference, Tennessee beat James Madison 9-8, needed 10 innings to do it. Gonzaga beat Missouri 10-5. We told you earlier, Texas Tech played an early game against Mississippi State and won it in Biloxi 7-2. Kentucky fell to Ohio 9-8. North Alabama beat Alabama 9-5. Tennessee came back and beat James Madison 10-2. Georgia beats Georgia Southern in Statesboro 5-1. Auburn inches past Tennessee Tech 4-3. Ole Miss 16-1, no issue with Alcorn, and Texas A&M a 4-1 winner over Tarleton to go along with LSU beating McNeese 6-3. Today, by the way, in SEC baseball, you're scheduled to have Arkansas play Illinois Chicago, and that game ended Arkansas 12-4. Gonzaga also set to play Missouri today. Actually, but that was canceled due to weather. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Again, shout out our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, the LSU Tigers, and the Ragin' Cajuns. And one of the great things they did with their courtside seats was courtside for charity, and we were able to raise nearly $5,000 because of all of you who generously bought raffle tickets for those floor seats, which we were able to give away throughout the month of January and February, and raised over $1,000 each for 4 different charities. So that money goes a long way, and for those charities. So tip of the cap to Gulf Coast Office Products, and of course all of you for a job well done and helping spread that word. It is after further review. Ryan Clark's going to be with us coming up here in about 10 minutes or so. Baseball Tigers got a win last night, which was really good to see. Jay Johnson did meet with the media earlier today. His pitching lineup is going to be TBD for the weekend. And one of the things that he said pretty consistently is that it might look a little different this year. And he actually did an interview this morning on OTB, and I heard him reiterate that again. And what he means by that is, as we keep waiting for this rotation to emerge where it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday guy, and it just may not be that way. And he told us this in the fall, and I don't think he was kidding. I mean, I think we're seeing it manifest, where Blake Money has established himself squarely as your Friday night guy, and I think he will give you a more than a puncher's chance to win on any given Friday night. I mean, we talked earlier about injuries at Arkansas and with Landon Sims at Mississippi State. They're Friday night guys on the shelf. Blake Money gives you probably an advantage in those ball games on Friday night on the road in those two series. But I don't know that you're going to have a set Saturday, Sunday starter. It very much feels like the way Jay is going to approach it is how we approached last night's ball game, where they used 5 different pitchers to get through it. And I just think because you have so many arms, but none that you really feel comfortable right now after Blake Money being a guy that can extend deep and take the ball and extend deep into a game, you're probably going to have a situation where it's Mikhail Hilliard, if it's Grant Taylor, here Will Helmers, take the ball, get me off to a good start. Give me 9 outs, and then pass it to the next guy, and the next guy situationally to piece your way through a game. And I think that's probably what you're going to see. I'm big on Ty Floyd. I think his stuff is fantastic. I think the way that we're talking right now about guys like Taylor and Dutton as freshmen is how we were talking last year about Floyd and Javen Coleman. Coleman, unfortunately, is injured, but Floyd is coming. I think Jay gave him the ball last week against Texas because he wanted to see how he did on that stage. And needed 86 pitches to get through 4 innings against the number 1 team in the country. I think against lesser teams, he'll fare much better, obviously. But after Money and Floyd, it's probably going to be a lot of what you saw yesterday. Remember when Jay told us it's probably going to be longer games this year because they're going to piece it together with a lot of pitchers, probably going to be pretty offensive. True to his words, what we're seeing so far, and it's probably what we'll see this weekend against Bethune-Cookman as well, because that's just how they're going to have to piece it together a week in advance of SEC play. I mean, this should be, in theory, your final dress rehearsal before conference play to see what it's going to look like. So, big weekend for the Tigers. The competition is not great, but it's big for LSU this weekend against Bethune-Cookman to see how it's going to look, when they head against in SEC play coming up next week. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you with us here. They are underway in the second half there in Tampa. Missouri gets a bucket there to start the second half, so they are within 14. It's a 39-25 LSU. We'll see if the Tigers can keep the pressure on Mizzou, keep attacking. There's a nice little baby hook in the lane, a little runner from Efton Reed. So the Tigers are up 41-25 with just under 19 minutes to play, just underway there in the second half. We'll keep you posted on that ball game. My guess is most of you, if you want to watch the ball game or listen to it, you're watching it or listening to it. But we'll keep you up to date with how that's all transpiring as we move throughout the rest of the show today. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're open right now. They're open for another hour. And I would highly recommend you give them a call today. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. I give you great testimonials all the time. I tell you my personal experience with Insurance Network of Louisiana. It doesn't matter if you've been with State Farm for 25 years, if you signed up with Liberty Mutual 5 years ago, if maybe you just brought your teenage child driver onto your insurance and you saw a rate increase, whatever the case may be, it's worth having Insurance Network of Louisiana shop independently for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450. This is a totally free process. There's no fine print. There's no catch. 293-0450. They shop for free to get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, do it live. Our season studio. Do the Achilles live.
I can't. Oh, I gotta do it live.
Yeah, because you don't have the drop.
What are you doing? He's high.
Bro.
Achilles.
There it is. There it is. You got it.
You're high.
No, that's not yet. It's not for another 50 minutes till he starts toking. 4:20 is when he starts toking it up over.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good.
Hey, man, thanks for coming in studio.
No problem, brother.
It's great to have you.
I think my seat's broken, bro. Like I don't.
Yeah. So unsolicited, by the way. I did not tell him to talk about the chairs. This has been an ongoing. I hesitate to call it a bit because it's actually legitimate. I mean, fair. It's legitimate.
Yeah, no, I had to throw that chair to the side today when doing an early line. I couldn't do it.
For as long as I've worked here, I've complained about the chair situation. Yeah, he's going to stand. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's better. Okay.
I don't blame you.
Cool.
For as long as I've done the show.
Y'all need to fix the cameras. Can y'all do that?
Yeah, Paulie got you.
All right,
he'll pick you up. You know what? I'll do the same with you. I'll put it. And then, oh, God. See, I hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was just going to try to put it down so I could stand with you. And then, you start messing with it and see what happens. Completely unsolicited. He complained about, first thing he said, he complained about the chair. We've just had a chair issue here for as long as I've been here, RC.
Yeah, man. But I've been coming for years, and I never necessarily understood or knew that you guys had a chair issue. Yeah. So at least you hit it well for the most part in the beginning.
Well, the issue has been exposed.
I see.
Many times over. But anyway, I wanted to have RC in studio today. It's always good to chat with RC about a variety of topics. But if you haven't been paying attention, RC, who's all over ESPN, of course, has launched a new, I guess we'll call it a show. It's a podcast, it's a vlog, whatever. It's a show.
Yeah.
Called The Pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know any other, I'm not building you up. I'm not telling you what you know, but it is so rare that something so new does the type of impact and numbers which The Pivot has done in 2 months?
2 months.
All right. It's RC, Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder hosting the show. And let me just, what is The Pivot?
Yeah, so The Pivot is it's kind of a sports podcast because I think anytime you get athletes together, it becomes sports, right? And like people don't necessarily want to hear us talk about other things, I think, but we try to get, players of different sports, commentators, and different people who are involved in sports, but we want to tell the deeper story. Everybody knows Floyd Mayweather can fight. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about, some of the other things in his life. Like, Taylor Lewan came on the show. And that was one of those crazy ones because so we've put out Jana Kramer, who is an actress.
Didn't even know who she was.
Right, country music singer.
But like 1 million followers on Twitter, and I looked, I'm like, oh
yeah,
my God. And
crazy.
And there she's talking about
sex addiction and
spousal
abuse. And that's kind of the thing as well. So the show, we named the show The Pivot because those two guys came from another podcast.
Okay.
And on that podcast, which they had, built themselves up because these aren't dudes that do mainstream media. Like I'm the mainstream media guy. And so we kind of were able to come together, and they called me in December, late December. The producer called me. She has 8 Emmys. She used to produce. She produced Hard Knocks. She produces all of the All Access for boxing, for Showtime, but she owns her own company, so she freelances and does this. And I met her when she was hosting, like producing the other podcast before she left, and she just kept texting me like, "RC, I need you to call me." And I was
so
like,
you knew her already.
Yeah, I knew her.
Okay,
I was like, but we don't talk on the phone. You know what I mean? Like real talk. Like we don't talk on the phone. And so it was 2 weeks, bro. She kept texting me to call me, and I to call her, and I was like, her name's Alicia. I was like, Alicia, like, just call me. I was like, because I think I'm gonna do it and I don't. So we get on the phone. She tells me the idea. We probably talk for about a week. Then we start kind of talking about the business, and then we start filming. We filmed in New Jersey. We filmed in Nashville. We filmed in Los Angeles. We filmed in
Miami.
Las Vegas. We filmed in Miami. And so, like, the thing was, when we committed to do it, everybody understood we'd have to make sacrifices. The sacrifice for me is I'm going 3 days a week for work already.
Yeah.
And, during the season, we are at Micah Parsons' house on Wednesday night when I finished working that morning. And, like right now, we still have, a few podcasts we haven't released that we've already filmed because we film so much. I told you about, you've seen, like we had Jana Kramer, we had Taylor Lewan, we had Hugh Jackson. We shot every single one of those the same day.
Oh, wow.
Recently.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, recently. Yes, on what was it? On Tuesday, I woke up in Atlanta. 12 o'clock. I'm sitting down with Candace Parker. Right? I'm on a plane at 3:30, and we drive straight to the shoot spot, and we got Warren Sapp. Then after Warren Sapp, we have this lady named Dr. Amira Ongunleye. She's married to Wale Ongunleye, who used to play for the Chicago Bears. But she's the leading dentist in South Beach, right? Cosmetic dentist. But she's on because she's doing Channing's teeth, and Channing's teeth are terrible. She's and she's an activist, and she's huge in the community, highly successful. She's done LeBron and D Wade, but she's literally on because we're like, you're gonna take this undertaking. Like, is this charity? I know you do some pro bono work. What it is, and what it truly was. Channing's wife is gifting him new teeth because they're that bad. She told him that his teeth are embarrassing the family. And so man, but it's been really cool to be a part of something and to own something and partner in something that you have a lot of creative control of. And for me, it's truly been an opportunity to do different things. I did a podcast not too long ago. And the guy just asked me what's the ultimate goal, in media for me. And I just told him how for a little bit I was down on media. I was going to quit, and I was going to do something else, whether it was coach or get into the front office, because I felt like you were always boxed into one thing, right? You're boxed into one thing until they need you to do something else. And I felt like I had so much more to offer. I felt like I could control conversations, and carry conversations, and interview and do all of these things. But for so many times, people only see you as what they see you as. And you can't change that perception. And so I think, getting an opportunity to do this and getting the repetitions of doing this is something that is unscripted. I don't get to host this, and no disrespect to Greeny. Obviously, I love Greeny. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. But there is no rundown. There is no prompter. There is no director in my ear saying, this is the next question, or now let Channing speak, or now let Fred speak. You're controlling this entire thing off the cuff. And I think that's what's been fun about it, man. And another part that's been cool is it's like being on a team again. We go everywhere together.
You travel together.
Yeah, we travel together. You know what I'm saying?
Ask,
so you wake up in the morning, we go eat breakfast, and then we'll do a show, and then we'll eat lunch, and then we'll do a show, and then we'll eat dinner. And maybe we stay there, maybe we don't. And it's also the hustle. You know, like we aren't paying people to be guests, right? And it's hard to make people do things for you for free. You know, when you're getting the Marshawn Lynch's, you know, and you're getting Darren Waller. And
the Darren Waller thing was incredible.
It was incredible, you know, and so you're getting all of these people who are true stars in their own right, who will basically donate their time. And so it's like sometimes you just got to be there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're at the Pro Bowl and you hear Marshawn Lynch is at an event, and as a group we text Freddie T, like y'all got that running back thing. I was like, you know, I know him really well too when he's playing. I was like, but everybody respects you, Fred. Like, you know, you had a Hall of Fame career, even if you aren't there yet or you won't get there. Like, just go talk to him. So Fred hops in the Uber, bro. He hops in the Uber, gets over there, starts talking to him, and locks in Marshawn for the next day. And it's a great show.
That's how you got Marshawn.
But you know, like,
wow.
but that's how. But like truly, man, like that's how things are happening. You know, Raheem Morris is fresh off a Super Bowl. I texted him after the Super Bowl, like, bro, can I get you on the show? And he's like, well, the parade is Wednesday. I leave for Cabo the next day. And we're like, we'll see you after the parade. So I leave work Wednesday morning, fly to LA. They all fly from Florida. We're at his house waiting on him after the parade. And so that's kind of, it's been super cool to hustle and do things. And now what's starting to happen is people want to be on the show. You know, people understand that we're going to give you a platform to talk. And, you know, we had AB on this week, which was a cool thing for me because obviously we had our relationship and it was awesome.
Antonio Brown.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And it was awesome, though, to see people say, this is whether you agree with them or not, it's the first time we actually understood it.
He did a podcast. So that was, I think, the thing that when I went down the pivot rabbit hole earlier this week, and I texted you. By the way,
he texted me.
Thank you so much for coming on. Like I didn't even know you were jet setting like that for this, so it makes me feel even worse that I asked.
Nah, it's cool, man.
But like that's when I went down the rabbit hole because I was looking at some of the clips that you all were dropping for the AB pod, which I did watch. It's about an hour and 4 minutes, which is incredible because he's done some media, since the blow up,
and it's been trash.
Yes, for lack of a better word, it's been largely fluff and things that are completely unchecked, and you don't generate a lot of it other than just his name. And you and he apparently had a very legitimate, well, I think a lot of people might have seen it as you've talked through it, but like dating back to your time with the Steelers that you all had a beef.
Well,
that was something that you all, like from the onset of this, it wasn't, hey, let's dip our toe in the water. It was whistle smash helmets.
Well, I think the other thing that's been cool about having to search out guests is that you have relationships with people. You know, that like you could talk about certain things and hash certain things out, or you know, kind of the camaraderie you saw between Marshawn and Fred Taylor, like the whole running back thing, and like that's been the cool part. But also the thing with AB was, you know, you found out too that when he needed trainers, I did that. You know, when he needed therapy,
birthday party
I did
for his
that.
kid?
I threw the birthday party. I paid for it. And, you know, I think so.
I didn't know he was a single dad.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when people are on the outside of it looking in, all they see is me talking on TV and they're like, Ryan just crushes this dude. Ryan just hates this dude. But then when he comes on, he's like, nah, like he was the OG for me. You know, people get a different perspective. And I think that's what this show is about. Like when you do TV, you just get to analyze people. You don't necessarily get to see who they are. And so what we're trying to do is show people who these athletes are. And I'm just not going to tell you like some of the names, but like we got some stuff coming, man, up here in the next like couple of months that is going to truly blow people away by not necessarily just the content of the show, but who these humans are that decide to sit down with us. And I think that's, you know, been the fun part about it.
We've already got Floyd Mayweather on the show.
We cheated though. That was kind of cheating. Our producer's his best friend.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, our producer's his best friend.
It literally doesn't matter. I mean, he's arguably the greatest pound for pound fighter ever.
What was cool about it though is this. Obviously, he comes in with this entourage, right? And so Floyd sits down.
Can you hang on?
Yeah.
All right. Hang on 1 second. I want to pick up there because I want to stay on time. We got another segment with RC. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell you every single day about our friends at Clegg's Nursery. And this is the best time of year because it's spring. This is when the flowers are in bloom, when new life is springing again. The grass is green. There's blooms on the trees. And it's time to plant something. So get by Clegg's Nursery, any of their 4 locations. Siegel near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. It's a great time to get by. Full greenhouses. So if you want to plant those rose bushes, this is the time. You want to plant that fruit tree, this is the time. Privacy shrubs because you want to block off your neighbors, this is the time. And Clegg's has the best selection and the most knowledgeable staff as well. And no matter where you are in the greater Baton Rouge area, you're near a Clegg's nursery. Remember, Clegg's is also part of a True Value hardware store, so anything you'd find at a True Value hardware store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local, and be sure to tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, RC's in studio with us.
I have a chair now.
I fixed the chair. We're talking about the pivot. If you're not subscribed,
please do.
Go to the YouTube channel. It's The Pivot. Hit the subscribe button. I guess it's on different podcast platforms as well.
Yes, on Spotify. It's also on Apple. I think the cool part is, obviously, we would love for you guys to listen. We love to get those numbers up. But it is different when you get an opportunity to watch it and see the people react and do those things. It's kind of, but if you're in your car, we would appreciate if you did that as well. We were talking about Floyd, though. So Floyd is in there with his 30-person entourage, right? And it's Super Bowl, and me and Yonk have a date right? We have a dinner at 8:30. Obviously Floyd's late because he's Floyd.
He's Floyd, sure.
But it's also one of those things like I'm double dutching like in between happy marriage and having the greatest boxer, arguably of our definitely of our era, but in the world or in history on my show. Mm-hmm. So I wait, and like it's very uncomfortable because I can feel my wife's eyes burning through me as this goes on.
Watch.
Thinking, thinking that, probably thinking to herself like, you know what, Ryan doesn't care about me, he cares more about Floyd. So, bro, we are an hour and plus in, bro. And Floyd's like, I'm still ready to talk. Like, I still want to talk. And so you're talking, like, all of his people are like, we've never seen him like this. So he's called us. He's like, when are we filming the next one? I want to do it from my strip club.
From the strip club?
At the strip club. Okay. He wants to do it at the strip club. It. But it's one of those things, it's like, that makes you feel good because you put somebody such at ease or in a place where they felt like they were able to be themselves and got positive reviews for it. And so now they want to do it more. And that's the exciting part. It's also when somebody sees Floyd Mayweather do your show, they kind of go, well, why shouldn't I do it?
Right.
Right. Like I can't big time them because it's not like they can't get people. And that's truly what it's about, man. And it's true for me too. It's been an evolution of learning how to interview, right? Because you have so many different guys and they're so different in the way that they speak, in their cadence. And how comfortable they could be. It's like, okay, because at first, like I wanted to keep the show moving. I had done all my studying. And so if they slowed down or if I felt it wasn't interesting, you might like cut them off or ask a different question. And I was like, well, you're not really giving your guest time to talk. So I've evolved in 2 months in learning how to do it. I feel like the show has. And because we hang around each other, we have so many things to like talk about amongst each other during shows because they're like brothers. You know what I mean? Like, we all understand Channing is the nastiest human being and individual that's ever walked the face of the earth. Like, the man says, like, if he don't do nothing, why bathe?
you know what's so funny about that?
You know what I mean? Like,
we play a drop on this. We play a Channing. That chair's doing you dirty again.
It's all good.
Down.
That's okay. I'm just short now.
Look how
I'm just short now, bro.
That's what Terrio happens every time he's in here. But Channing obviously done. Channing Crowder went to Florida, played for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
That you have it. Play this.
Cleveland's the anus of America. It's the booty.
We play that drop when we make fun of Cleveland. Because he was feuding with Cleveland fans who were making fun of the Dolphins, and he basically said, "You live in Cleveland,"
right?
And that was probably for 10 years we played that drop, the Cleveland is the anus of America drop. So
I love it.
I was very aware of Channing Crowder and his and all three of you are so different personality-wise too.
Right, which is what helps, and I think because we're all so different and we're in different lanes, nobody you never step on toes. Like you do different shows, and certain people take the lead because of their personalities or whatever. Like I'm always going to be like the guide of the show, but if somebody else is into what our guest is talking about and they want to take the lead on questions, oh please do. I love to shut up, and I think and that's what's been fun. We're all in different places in our career. And I think the cool part for me is that I have a brand and a place on network TV. And so doing this, I can truly do it to like enjoy myself and to love it and to have those conversations. And when we did the Jana Kramer thing, and I know people are always gonna be like, Ryan's always talking about race. But, we were 3 African-American men, who are all married to, Black women. And, we have this white woman coming on our show. And, sometimes people look at your show culturally too, like Black people, we do have more African-American subscribers than white or other ethnicities. And so, it was a strategic move to show people that like we can talk to anybody. And it also was a strategic move to say, and everybody's stories matter to us. In the sense that, it doesn't matter your ethnicity, your gender, or your religion. If you have a story of pivoting, if you have a story of fighting through adversity, or if you have something that we think can touch people, like those are the things we want to talk about. I don't care if you can make a basket. Like that's cool, but I don't really care about that. And so it's been fun, man. It's been really good. It's been a lot different, for us, and it's been really stinking successful.
RC, we're like 30 seconds away, but when I saw some of the clips, I was like, that's incredible. And then I clicked over to the YouTube channel, saw the numbers, and I was like, oh, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
it's I'm glad you agreed to come in here and do this, because I have a feeling like in a year or two, like the pivot, like this thing is going to be a brand that everybody knows.
Yeah, like you know how it is, man. You build everything to sell it.
Well,
and that's what and that's what we're doing.
Party in RC's house.
You build everything to sell it, brother.
Thank you,
man. Thank you, man. That, it meant a lot to me, though, man, to get that text message from you, and that's why I wanted to come in.
RC, you're the best, man. Thanks.
AFR.
Put a button here on hour number 1. Reminds you about the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. WilliamsonEye.com. If you want to see 2020, the Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020, no matter your age or your refractive issue. Maybe you're a little, let's say you have a little gray hair, and you got the readers at the end of the nose just to see the menu in the dark restaurant. Or maybe you're just blind as a bat. You got to pop those contacts in just to see street signs or your hand in front of your face. No matter your age or your refractive issue, the Williamson Eye Center has a solution for you to be able to see 2020 without contacts or glasses. Go for the consultation. You would be interested in that, wouldn't you? I know I was. 924-2020. LASIK has changed my life. It could help you as well. 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
Dad!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Yes!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you looking for a new vehicle? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, where you'll never pay over MSRP. There's no markups and no gains. You can reserve yours today. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I'm Doug Brown. Major League Baseball is back in business. Owners and players reaching a tentative deal on a new basic agreement after a 99-day lockout. That deal still needs to be approved, but training camps could open up on Sunday, and opening day could be April 7th. At the Big 12 tournament quarterfinals today, TCU comes back from 20 points down to beat Texas.
Here's Ball. To Lefkis. They've got the lead. 8-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Texas with the ball down 2.
Craig Way on Lear Field. The Horned Frogs hold Texas to 20 points in the second half and beat the Longhorns 65-60. Damian Baugh with 17 points to lead TCU. Kansas State coach Bruce Weber resigns today after 10 years with the Wildcats. And ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Bears are trying to finalize a trade that would send 6-time Pro Bowl defensive end Khalil Mack to the Chargers for 2 future draft picks.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. LSU, still no issues right now with Missouri Tigers. LSU Tigers are up 68-49, so a 19-point lead for LSU with 4:44 to play. Starters are still in the ball game. My guess is this holds at the under 4 timeout. Will Wade might go ahead and empty the bench, up nearly 20 here on Missouri. Not going to have to play tomorrow against Arkansas, but this is, as Will Wade mentioned before the team left, this was an opportunity not to undo what you gained or give back what you gained by beating Alabama. You put a quad 1 quality win on your resume. If you lose to Missouri, you take it right away. Because remember, the only way to counterbalance a bad loss is with a good win. But the reverse is also true. A bad loss effectively negates that good win. So this was big for LSU to maintain its lot in seeding, as most bracketology has LSU. I know ESPN and Jerry Palm each have LSU right now on the 5 line. That's probably still ambitious considering, but this is a good start for LSU there in Tampa. It's an and 1 opportunity for Missouri. So Tigers lead by 17. Missouri is at the line with 4:23 to play. Just not a really smart foul there by Mwani. But anyway, hopefully the Tigers just hang on here, play this one out, and move on to tomorrow. Thanks to RC for coming in. If you missed it, we talked with RC about his show, The Pivot. It's on YouTube. It's RC, Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder. I told RC this before he left, and I wanted to do it on air. We just ran out of time. But it's not just like former athletes interviewing other sports people, because there's a lot of that, and a lot of it's not very good. A lot of it's fluff. They have this sort of special sauce because it's 3 guys with 3 very different personalities who mesh together very well to form a magnetic dynamic, and they're unafraid to ask very real, pointed, hard-hitting questions and go in. And I told RC, in my lifetime, I can't tell you that I've heard every interviewer ever, but in my lifetime, there are two prominent interviewers who are that, who can get any guest across any racial or socioeconomic or a geopolitical background landscape, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you do, to sit in their chair and candidly answer any question that they ask. And those two people are Barbara Walters and Howard Stern. And when I was listening to them, that I'm not saying they're Barbara Walters or Howard Stern, but that's the vibe that I got from the show. And I was like, this is incredible. I mean, this is going to be, it already is. It's hard to put into words. I know I'm rambling a bit, but if you don't deep dive into analytics, the fact that a YouTube channel with 180,000 subscribers, which is what they have, has videos that are doing in the hundreds of thousands of views, and a couple of videos that have already eclipsed 1 million views. And this is in just 2 months. It just doesn't happen. I mean, there are YouTube channels, shows on YouTube that have literally 10 times the subscribers, over 1 million subs, that do a tenth of the numbers, that do numbers in the tens of thousands. They have fewer subscribers than they have views on all of their episodes, which tells you they are, like, that subscriber number is going to continue to go, but their viewership numbers are only going to increase at scale, it's just stunning. But when you get Darren Waller to talk about 100 failed drug tests, when you get Jana Kramer to talk about spousal abuse, when you get Antonio Brown, like, wearing a mask on this show, talking about leaving the field and why he didn't, they're challenging him on it. I mean, it is captivating. So I'm happy for RC. I mean, he's obviously been, like, a friend of the show, but just a personal friend for a lot of years too, man. So I'm happy for him. It's incredible what they've done in just 2 months. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing that becomes the thing. Like, one more, I'll put it to you this way. Like Pat McAfee, right? Pat McAfee has this wildly successful show now. He had gone mainstream, broke apart, did his own thing, and he just got broke off by one of the betting apps. To the tune of I think 4 years, $120 million, wasn't it? It was like $30 million a year. He got basically a quarterback contract, Pat McAfee did. They're outperforming Pat McAfee in 2 months. It's stunning. I mean, it is just stunning what that show is doing right now. So go to YouTube, subscribe to The Pivot. You can watch it there. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for being here. We've got a ton still to do today. When the LSU game goes final, we'll certainly react to that. LSU baseball last. I do have a lot of Saints and LSU football stuff. Saints have restructured Cam Jordan, Tano Passanio. We'll get to some of that. ESPN is ranked for the future quarterback rankings for college football. Where does LSU fall? We'll get to that at the bottom of this hour. LSU baseball, they beat McNeese last night, 6-3. Here was Jay Johnson after the win to the Tigers bounce back from their disappointing weekend in Houston.
Proud of our team tonight. I thought it was a very well-played game. Great job from the mound. Coach Kelly did an excellent job calling pitches. All 5 guys that we used were in the strike zone. Good effort by all of them. I almost can't even single any of them out. It was great. Played very clean game on defense. Happy to see that. And then offensively, kind of the same story. We did, just enough. You look up at the end of the day, there's 11 hits on the board. We're a bat or two early in the game from probably breaking it open, but kind of happy that it turned out the way that it did. I thought that was a really quality win against a good opponent in a type of game that we're probably going to play more of down the road. So I think that will do a lot of good for us.
Yeah, Tigers had a couple of opportunities, run on third with one out, bases loaded opportunity, and couldn't get it home. So they had a chance to blow that game open early. They didn't. But Jacob Berry came up with a couple of blasts in the ball game. Dugas hit an opposite field home run. Berry from the left side just yanked one down the right field line. I mean, it was a smash. And he right now, it's very evident the disparity from Jacob Berry batting from the left side, it's from the right side. He is – and Terrio did talk about this a bit on Friday if you were here. And I'm sorry, it wasn't Friday. It was while we were watching the game Saturday. We were sitting at Pluckers watching the game on Saturday, and Terrio brought this up because I said he's just obviously so much better from the left side. And the way he explained it is when you look at Barry's swing, and as silly as Terrio is with a lot of things, he actually is kind of brilliant when talking about hitting. I mean, he played a long time in Major League Baseball, not because he's the physically most gifted, just because he really understands hitting. He said, watch Barry, how long he gets from the right side, how long his swing is from the right side. It's almost like if you play golf, it's like whenever you get extended, you lose all of your power. And it makes an awful lot of sense. But Barry from the left side has been awesome. He had another home run last night. Dugas got his first homer of the year, which is crazy. Guy who had 19 a year ago, led the SEC in RBIs. It took the game 12, 13, whatever, to get his first homer on the season. But a couple other things from last night. Clean game, no errors, right? That's what we all wanted to see. After 10 errors over 3 games on the weekend, I don't think this is going to be an elite fielding team at any point. That's not exactly breaking news or anything, but it was a clean game. They didn't commit any errors. Now, McNeese caught last night. The first run McNeese scored. It was ruled a wild pitch, but it was on McNeese. I mean, it was a low pitch. He tried to backhand it instead of getting in front of it, getting down on his knees and blocking it up. So the run scored. It was ruled a wild pitch. But that was on McNeese. The good news on Milazzo is that his knee injury, there's no structural damage, and so it's just a matter of letting the swelling go down and hopefully getting him back, for the start of SEC play. And then the other thing I wrote down was how LSU is going to handle the pitching staff. Look, leaving Houston, Jay Johnson said that Mikhail Hilliard was going to pitch on Tuesday. Well, they obviously moved the game Tuesday and Wednesday, and Hilliard didn't pitch. He insisted after the game last night that Hilliard's going to pitch this weekend. I assume Mikhail Hilliard will pitch this weekend, but again, it's just how they're going to handle this staff. You're going to see Blake Money on Friday, and then they're just going to figure it out from there based on who he feels has a good matchup that can get them off to a good start. Both Jay Johnson and Jason Kelly have been kind of adamant about this, and lo and behold, they weren't lying. I don't think you're going to see, unless if over the course of this season someone really emerges and establishes himself, I don't know that you're going to see a set Friday, Saturday, Sunday rotation. It's not completely unprecedented for a team to be able to win at a high level and do this. What was the year? Mississippi State had a year where, do you remember the year where they started their closer, pitched him an inning, and then basically pitched backwards? Do you remember that?
Was that 2013? I want to say that was 2013.
I thought it was. Maybe it was. I thought it was the team.
It might have been 2007 too, though. Because I know.
No. It was more recent. I thought it was the team that went to the College World Series final and lost.
That was 13.
It was 13?
They lost to UCLA.
Okay. So I thought it was more recent than that. Oddly enough, because I thought I remember watching one of those games when our family was on vacation in North Carolina, and that was maybe 2018 or something like that. But were they in the College World Series in 18, Mississippi State?
Yeah, they've been in the last 3 years. They've been in the last. So
they didn't make 18.
They didn't make 18. They've been in the last 3 years. Well, no, that technically, because 2020 you didn't have one, so it would have been 18. Would have been their third.
Maybe it was 18. Maybe it was 18. Either way, point is, or maybe it's the one you're talking about against UCLA. Point is, you can do it in an unorthodox way if you're confident in your approach and you have the arms, the number of arms that you can run out there. It used to be where, like in the 90s, Skip would always say he wanted 5 or 6 arms that he knew he could go to in a weekend. I mean, LSU's got double that number. They feel like they can hand the ball to. So they probably can make it through a weekend like that. It's not ideal. Of course, you'd rather your Friday, Saturday, Sunday guy pitching on a schedule and you know you have an advantage with every starter you give the ball to. I mean, you would love to be able to go like Gosman, Eads, Nola. Yeah, that would be awesome if you could. But it doesn't always work out that way. So they'll put it together however they can this way. All right, it's after further review. This is incredible. Missouri got it within 10. It's 76-66. There's 29 seconds to go in the game. I mean, I think it's pretty clear what happened. I mean, LSU, I guess, emptied the bench and just started turning the ball over. Were you watching it at all?
I wasn't.
I looked up a minute ago.
But when I see 10, I just think of what the number was before the game, and some people are going to be very upset.
Oh, was it 11 and a
It
half?
was 11 and a half. And LSU was up like 30 in this basketball game.
Never bet LSU games.
Yeah,
bro.
man.
I never bet LSU games. Although I did bet, I think I told you this, when they played Missouri, I bet the second half line on Missouri. It was like the second half line was like 13 and a half. And they covered it easily.
Bro, whenever we change shows here, Mizzou was plus 29 live. They were
ridiculous.
plus 29.
Well, they learned their lesson from the first go.
Yeah.
That's another bucket for Mizzou off a turnover. This is an 8-point game. This is an 8-point game with 20 seconds to go. Like, they're about to play
Easton's
the foul.
out there still, too.
They
Look at
just
that.
turned it over again.
They got the starters in, right? Look at Easton, Murray.
Well, they have to. Oh, my God. Bro, it's 8. LSU just turned it over under their basket. Missouri missed a layup. Murray grabbed the rebound, and they fouled him. Like, that's the ball game. But
Murray, prison.
Oh, my God.
That was almost not fun.
Like, this should be a 6-point game with 13 seconds to go. All right. Let's go to break and never talk about that sequence again. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Look, I've told you about my great experience with Darren James. I've told you about my experience for years. The great customer service experience that Darren gives, which is his great differentiator. This review just came in from Rate My Agent. Darren is very detailed, outlining procedures, helps sellers with issues that they have, helps to solve it in a timely manner, would recommend his service. Ask anyone, literally anyone, that has ever hired Darren James, and you will hear something along those lines. If you need to sell your home, call a realtor that sells more homes than anyone, but the reason he sells more homes than anyone is because of that. 335-7666 or agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns in stock with $2,750 off MSRP. Shop our inventory or let us custom order your next vehicle with up to $2,000 bonus cash, our 1,000,000-mile warranty, and more. Shop BayouCDJR.com or visit us off I-10 in La Plaza. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, so LSU wins. They advance. They'll play Arkansas tomorrow down in Tampa. So the stay is extended. Will Wade is visiting as we speak right now with the guys on the SEC Network. It would be great if we could pull that right now. Let's get that fixed for tomorrow, please. Maybe a stream, something. You might be able to pull it up right now. See if you can. Yeah, that'd be great. So anyway, LSU. They've won at least one game in the SEC tournament in consecutive years for the first time since 2012 to 2014. That's a little graphic they put up there. So that's something to play for down in Tampa today. All right, we'll see if we can get you some post-game reaction from Will Wade here as the show goes along. Certainly, we get to that in hour number 3. Also, in hour 3, we're going to visit with Jake Madison, Locked on Pelicans. Pels lost last night, suffered back-to-back losses. Last night, a home loss to Orlando, which is gross. But if there's a silver lining, it's that the Lakers lost to Houston. So the two worst teams in the NBA, the Magic and the Rockets, won on the same night against the two teams that are battling it out there at the bottom of the Western Conference. So we'll talk some Pels next hour. So the Saints are continuing their push toward cap compliance. Of course, by the start of the new league year, they've got to be within the number of the salary cap. And the Saints were around $42 million over the salary cap before the day. And now there are reports that the Saints have restructured both Cam Jordan and Tano Passanio to get even closer to cap compliance. That should save about $12.5 million in cap space. That should put, if my numbers are right, the Saints around $30 million over the cap. So still a lot of work to do, but they know well enough this procedure and how they go about doing it. With Cam Jordan, they were able to spread his cap hit out over 2023 and avoided 2024 season. So basically a voided year, but they'll have a cap number on it for Cam Jordan. And then for Tano Passanio, they were able to add 3 void years in place after the 2022 season to spread out his number. So the Saints are doing their due diligence right now to save money. The other thing they did also, however, on the defensive line is they re-signed Carl Granderson and defensive tackle Jalen Dalton. And, the Saints' sack numbers weren't as elite a year ago as they had been when they had been really top 5 every year since Dennis Allen had been back. But what you did see, and look, a big part of that, obviously, was Trey Hendrickson leaving for Cincinnati. There was a guy that was a double-digit sack guy. He had so many opportunities playing opposite Cam Jordan, goes to Cincinnati, has another double-digit sack season. Clearly, he's an elite pass rusher in the NFL right now. The contract was warranted. The Saints just couldn't pay him, in large part because of the year and everything with the salary cap reducing. You all know the story by now, but that's why I think in total that number was down a little bit. But when you look at individual performances, there's some really nice things to like off the edge. Cam Jordan, despite the fact that he's in his 30s now, Cam Jordan had a bit of a resurgence last year. After the back-to-back-to-back double-digit sack seasons in 17, 18, and 19, Cam Jordan kind of hit that wall in 2020, with just 7.5 sacks. It is disgusting that his Ironman streak came to an end because of COVID. But he had 12 and a half sacks this season. It was actually the third highest sack total of his career. In 2019, he had 15 and a half. And in 2017, he had 13. It's the third highest sack total season of his entire career. And it came after a slow start this season, but once he hit his groove, man, he was rolling. So Cam Jordan, who continues to play the highest percentage of snaps, he's had that reputation throughout his career, a guy who has stayed healthy throughout his entire career, never missed a game until having to miss a game because of COVID. This obviously guarantees Cam Jordan is going to continue to stay and remain a New Orleans Saint, but there's no reason to think, like when you just look at Cam Jordan's statistics, 4 of the last 5 seasons, he's had double-digit sacks. 2020 is the outlier, and you could just say, COVID year, which was weird for everybody. And maybe that was his regression when Trey Hendrickson had the big monster season. Tano Passanio had the injury this year as well, so he only ended up playing in 8 games for New Orleans. Started 5 of them. But when he was on the field, he was massively impactful as a role player. Not only as a big dude that's like 6'7" that can sit there and like block kicks and everything, but as a guy who can deflect passes, but as an edge rusher as well. Tano Passanio had 4 sacks in just 8 games. That ties his career high from 2019 with Kansas City when he had 4 sacks in 16 games. So in half the games played, he matched his career sack total. You needed somebody to pick up the slack from Trey Hendrickson, and Passanio and Carl Granderson kind of did it. Granderson last year was another guy in his 3rd year in the NFL that they counted on. He came up with 3 sacks, played in 15 games, started 3 times, but wasn't an every down guy, was a rotational player, but he came up with 3 sacks. So I guess my point is, for the Saints, you lose Trey Hendrickson, and the question is, is the whole greater than the sum of its parts? Is losing Trey Hendrickson, like, can you replace him? While he may not be replaceable in one person, you were able to do so collectively with guys rotating in. And there's this gigantic asterisk to go there as well. And that's Marcus Davenport and of course Peyton Turner as well. So Marcus Davenport was by far and has been the Saints' most disruptive defensive lineman when he's been on the field. He's entering his 5th season in the NFL. The Saints picked up his option. But the problem obviously has been he's just never stayed healthy. 13 games in year 1, 13 games in year 2, 11 games in year 3, 11 games in year 4. I mean, he has aside from 2019 when he started all 13 games he played in, aside from that season, he started a combined 10 games in the other 3 seasons. But the kicker for Davenport this year is he had 9 sacks in 11 games. I mean, he is a double-digit sack guy if he could ever just stay healthy, and I know that's a giant if, and you have a 4-season sample now to suggest he can't stay healthy because he doesn't stay healthy. He's going to get injured again. It's just what he has been in his career. He doesn't play a full season. Some of it's bad luck. I don't know if it's training, if it's genetics or whatever, but when he's on the field, he's a monster. And you have to look and say, man, what if he could actually find a way to stay healthy? But that feels like a risky gamble at this point with Marcus Davenport. But again, Davenport is your best option to turn in a double-digit sack season opposite Cam Jordan, which is doable provided he stays healthy. And then there's Peyton Turner, which, I don't know what even to say. We were so excited about Peyton Turner because of his versatility. With all of the players that they lost a year ago because of the cap issues across the defensive line, from Malcolm Brown and Sheldon Rankins and Trey Hendrickson, I mean, you all know the list. Peyton Turner was intoxicating because he was a guy that was athletic enough to kick out and play in and physical enough to kick down and play defensive tackle and was probably going to have to play some of both. And we saw him do that, but he only played in 5 games. I understand the comparisons to Davenport. You're looking at the guy, the athletic edge rusher from a small school, who they traded up in round 1 to take, and now he's been sort of snake bitten with injuries. I don't know that that's a fair label for Peyton Turner after 1 year. Let's hope he stays healthy. But with re-signing Granderson and obviously retaining Passanio, restructuring Passanio, and you've got Cam Jordan, and then you're hoping that one of those two guys I just mentioned, or hope best case scenario is both, Davenport and Turner, stay healthy, you have an incredible rotation of guys that have been productive NFL ends, edge rushers, in their time when they've been healthy. Can you stay healthy? Because if you end up with a scenario where it's Cam Jordan and Marcus Davenport, and rotating behind them are Tano Passanio and Carl Granderson, and you throw Peyton Turner in the mix as a fifth body, now all of a sudden you're talking about one of the best position groups in the NFL at that spot. Maybe not the guy who is the elite guy in the league, but collectively maybe one of the best position groups in the NFL at defensive end if you can keep all those guys healthy. So the Saints did some work there on the defensive line today, and was really good to see as they move closer and closer to cap compliance. Got to get there by next week with the start of the league year, so still a lot of work to do for New Orleans. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us here. Always love telling you about our friends over at Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, celebrating 75 years in business. 75 years in business. If you weigh or measure something, Michelli sells, services, and rents the products that you use to weigh and measure. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. You can learn more. Remember, 24/7, 365 access to your calibration certificates. That's a free service from Michelli Weighing and Measurements, their track system. No matter the industry you're in, aerospace, agriculture, the petrochemical industry, energy, food and beverage, you need calibration, you need measurement, they got you at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. All right, let me knock out a quick break. I want to switch from the NFL to college football when we come back. If you're just joining us, you haven't heard, LSU basketball did beat Missouri. The final score is certainly not indicative of the way that game was. LSU led by 20 for the bulk of the game. Absolutely blew the doors off Missouri. Got very, very sloppy late. Some late turnovers were converted into points from Missouri, which made the final margin closer than it needed to be. As Musso pointed out, if you have the Tigers 11.5 and you turn the game off at the under 8 timeout, you're probably punching something. If you're like me, you'd punch something because you're aggressive and angry. But other people, if you're emotional, maybe you're crying. But either way, a very negative emotion associated with that game if you bet it. So why? Never bet the Tigers. Okay, but LSU moves on. They'll take on Arkansas tomorrow. Let me knock out a break. ESPN.com put out their future quarterback rankings. Which college football teams have the best quarterback position over the next 3 years? You might be interested to see where LSU landed on this list. I'll tell you next. It's AFR.
AFR.
You know one of my favorite pastimes around March Madness? Serious. Fridays in Lent, March Madness, get off the air, go get a bunch of crawfish, sit at home, eat crawfish, and watch March Madness. I love to do that. Everyone's got their own traditions. I love to do that. And now Rouse's is helping me make that happen because Rouse's has crawfish. Live and boiled. By the way, their per pound price on boiled crawfish, $4.49. Good luck finding that price anywhere else. And they're $3.49 live. So live or boiled crawfish, they have you at Rouse's. So go to Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. If you want to call ahead to reserve your sack of crawfish or sacks of crawfish, you can do that. Find the store nearest you at Rouse's.com. Live and boiled crawfish. It is that time of year, y'all. You know where to go. Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales service and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us here. If you watched LSU beat Missouri 76-68, Tigers advance in Tampa at the SEC tournament. Still hoping to make a deeper push here in March, solidify their seeding for March Madness, and hopefully make a deep run. We'll have Tigers and Razorbacks tomorrow from Tampa for the third time this year. So, of course, this week, one of the big pieces of news was Jaden Daniels signing with LSU, transfer quarterback from Arizona State. You pair Jaden Daniels with a guy like Miles Brennan and Garrett Nussmeier, and then, of course, Walker Howard coming in. There's a lot of reason for optimism around the future of the quarterback spot at LSU. So I was intrigued today when I saw ESPN.com publish their list of college football's top 25 future quarterback power rankings. Essentially, how are the team's going to rank at the quarterback position? How are they looking over the next 3 years? And given the fact that LSU has what I just said they have, I thought that they'd be very, very high on this list. And I'll just give you a spoiler. They aren't. LSU comes in at number 16 on this list. A year ago, LSU was ranked 15th on this list. The write-up is an intriguing quarterback situation. Added another layer Sunday. They talk about the arrival of Jaden Daniels. They mentioned Brennan Nussmeier, Walker Howard. LSU's goal is to blend Daniels' efficiency of 2019 with his mobility of last season. The team essentially has two short-term options in Daniels and Brennan, who returns from a series of injuries. They talk about Daniels adding buzz, but LSU should look beyond that with Nussmeier and Howard, and will they stick around? They point out that Brian Kelly's management of the quarterback room, along with Mike Denbrock and Joe Sloan, the quarterback's coach, will shape if LSU gets the most out of this group. Okay. That in and of itself isn't unfair. You have 1 year out of Daniels and Brennan, or Daniels or Brennan, as one is Brennan's likely to transfer, I think. You don't know what you're going to get from Nussmeier and Howard. Do they stick around? How will they play? I get it. So there's a lot of ambiguity beyond that, but you do have a very solid starter who's been a 3-year starter and a lot of highly rated guys behind him. They have Ohio State number 1 on the list, followed by USC, and then Alabama, number 3. And Bama 3, followed by Texas A&M at 4, and then Georgia at 5. So back-to-back-to-back SEC schools. I just sort of glossed over Southern Cal, but I would like to point out that both of the recent starters from Southern Cal have transferred out. They have no incumbent, and this is basically nothing more than a hat tip to Lincoln Riley. That's it. It's basically you have Lincoln Riley coming in, despite the fact that you have no quarterbacks there that have played any meaningful snaps. USC is the second best quarterback situation over the next 3 years, basically because of Lincoln Riley, and that's it. Alabama returns Bryce Young. It's hard to argue against that. The guy was sensational. He won a Heisman. Texas A&M at 4 is nothing but respect for Jimbo Fisher. And I, as you all know, am probably higher on Jimbo than most of you, just because I saw him turn guys like E.J. Manuel and Christian Ponder into first-round draft picks. I mean, I saw him beat number 1 Alabama last year with Zach Calzada, who wasn't any good. Lost his starting quarterback to injury, plugs in Calzada, and he was not any good, and they still managed to have a pretty good season. I think Jimbo's a great quarterback coach. In Georgia, you obviously return Stetson Bennett, who, led you to a national championship. And then you've recruited well back there with Brock Vandegrift and Carson Beck, Gunnar Stockton. You got some 5 stars behind it. So I get Georgia being high on that list. Y'all, the rest between those 3 and LSU, I just don't get it. Miami, Oklahoma. You lost Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler, and you got a totally new staff coming in. Why is Oklahoma 7th on this list? Texas at 8, no incumbent there either. NC State at 9. I mean, are we really trying to pump up Devin Leary? Michigan at 10. You got Cade McNamara back. But what after that? What have they really produced in Harbaugh's time? Penn State does return Sean Clifford, but they stunk last year. They've got Mississippi State at 12. Mississippi State at 12 with Will Rogers under center. Mississippi State 4 spots ahead of LSU. I mean, that is nothing but a hat tip to Mike Leach. And I guess the point I'm getting at, UCLA, Utah, Michigan State, and then LSU at 16. I guess the point I'm getting at is Brian Kelly's not getting the benefit of the doubt here. A lot of the schools that I just listed are where they are on that list because of perception. And to be very clear, this is just opinion. There isn't objective fact in here, but it does go to show what the perception is of Brian Kelly, his ability to recruit, develop quarterbacks. And if we're being completely candid here, look at some of the quarterbacks he had at Notre Dame and where their recruiting ranking was. Malik Zaire was the number 162 overall prospect in the country. Deshaun Kaiser was number 242. Ian Book was a 3-star who ranked 517th in the country in the 247 composite. So he didn't really land that 5-star blue chip prospect other than, oddly enough, Gunnar Kiel. He who haven't the chest necessary to compete, who then left and transferred to Cincinnati. So I can look at it and say, okay, there's Brian Kelly's challenge. And I think that challenge is made easier because of the transfer portal, because you can go and get a Jaden Daniels, a guy that's been a 3-year starter who you can plug into your system with a more veteran presence, and you know what you have instead of trying to recruit the high school prospect and have them grow and develop within your system. That's always going to be, I think, a necessity, but you can supplement in the portal if you're not winning there. Joe Burrow will be the forever example here. We understand that. But look at those most successful quarterbacks that LSU has had here of late. I mean, if it were Joe Burrow as a transfer player coming in, how often do we talk about Danny Etling? Zach Mettenberger was a transfer player. I'm okay going that route. It's just the nature of it. Would you love to sign the 5-star? Would you love for Walker Howard to come in here, be a 3-year starter, and win a Heisman? Absolutely. And I hope that happens. But if it doesn't, you can always go into the portal and supplement that position because we've seen people do it. We've seen teams do it successfully. There's no reason to think LSU and Brian Kelly can't do the very same. So this list is just what it is. I mean, it's just a list. But it's interesting, the general lack of respect for, and I hate to say lack of respect, don't respect, but the general, maybe the skepticism is a better way to say it, about LSU at quarterback with Brian Kelly and Mike Denbrock, despite the fact that they've got, right now, a full room with some really highly rated guys. It's going to be a fun spring. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by DraftKings. Of course, the college basketball tournament's championship week underway. Could not be more fired up about this. Basketball, day and night, and everything in between right now. And our friends over at the DraftKings Sportsbook are giving you an amazing chance to win. Bet just $5 on any team to win a tournament game. Bet just $5 at the DraftKings Sportsbook app on any team to win a tournament game. If they do, you win $200 in free bets. It's that simple. They win, you win, but you got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge. You got to use the code so they know we sent you. And bet $5 on any conference tournament game. Your team wins, you get $200 in free bets. How about them odds? It's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Now the disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. Take that, Muso. How fast I read that disclaimer?
No, that's the effect we put on it to speed it up.
No.
Yeah,
it is. I recorded it. Were you in studio when I recorded it?
Actually, yes. I was.
No, you weren't. Because I did it in Talk 107.3.
That was the end of a commercial.
Nope. I did it in Talk 107.3. You were not there when I did it.
I don't know about that.
I 100% did it for the recorded spot that I have to send.
So it was a recorded spot.
And I read it at the end.
And then we sped it up.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
You just talk really fast.
Do it.
I just did. You heard it.
No. One more time.
Take that, Muso. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh, that was 28 minutes ago. My bad. Wrap up hour number 2. Muso will have some Tigers in the pros if he can put down the bong. It's AFR.
AFR. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns in stock with $2,750 off MSRP. Shop our inventory or let us custom order your next vehicle with up to $2,000 bonus cash, our 1,000,000-mile warranty, and more. Shop BayouCBJR.com or visit us off I-10 in La Plaza. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Muso Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
To get to here today, Matt, will start with the NFL. CBS Sports, among others, reporting that the Dallas Cowboys looking to shop La'el Collins. He is officially on the trading block, having active conversations involving the offensive tackle, per reports.
With who?
Multiple teams is literally actually what it says.
Which teams?
It doesn't list them. It says multiple teams.
Dang.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
NBA action last night. Nas Reed and the Timberwolves, big victory, 132-102 over the Thunder. They're terrible, but still a nice victory. 14 minutes for Nas off the bench, 3 of 3 from the floor, 5 of 6 from the line, a total of 12 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block round out the night for Nas.
Should have stayed.
100%. Trendon Watford and the Portland Trailblazers.
They stink. He had a good night.
He had a great night, and they're actively trying to stink, though, at least. At least theirs is on purpose. 29 minutes off the bench for Watford, 6 of 14, 9 of 9 from the free throw line. How about a total of 22 points for Trendon Watford, 3 rebounds and a block to round out his night.
I was watching that as I was doing nightcap with Scone. The block was on a 3-point attempt. He closed out and swatted into the stands. He was awesome last night.
Athlete much?
Yeah, dude.
They had a delay, weather delay in the Players' Championship, Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, TPC Sawgrass, because, of course they did. It's Florida. It rains all the time. So Sam Burns still on the course. He was supposed to go off at 7:02 this morning. He's still on the course. Through 15 holes, Sam Burns 3 under par. That's tied for 7th. He is 3 shots off the lead of Tommy Fleetwood from England. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge goes to get engaged. Maybe Easter, sometime this spring. You're thinking about an engagement. Think no further than Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, 9 in all. Find the location nearest you at LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, hour 3 coming up right after Sports Center. Don't you move.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service, and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shawbills since 1968, 54 years in business, and they've been in business at Shawbills for 54 years because they have mastered customer service. Not something you hear about all the time with an auto tire and auto service shop. But it's always the case with Shawbills. You walk in the door, they'll greet you with a smile. You want to wait on your vehicle? No worries. They have comfortable furniture. They've got high-speed internet, which is obviously free. They've got flat-screen TVs. They've got like a Keurig, a really clean coffee station, clean restrooms. Like, I get a lot of work done when I go wait for my vehicle at Shawbills. If you need bumper-to-bumper auto service or name brand tires at wholesale prices, there's nowhere better than Shawbills. Hit the promotions tab at the top and see all the deals they have going on right now. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
Are you thinking about a new vehicle? Come to Corbell Toyota in Opelousas and pre-order your next Toyota. It's an easy process, and Toyotas are getting to our lot weekly. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corbell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Baseball's owners and players have a tentative deal on a new basic agreement. If it's approved, free agency could resume later tonight. ESPN's Jeff Passan reports as part of this deal, the National League will now have the designated hitter, and the playoffs will expand to 12 teams. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Bears are trying to finalize a trade that would send six-time Pro Bowl defensive end Khalil Mack to the Chargers. Chicago will likely get a second-round pick this year and a sixth-round pick next year. At the ACC tournament quarterfinals today, Duke got all it could handle from the Syracuse Orange.
And Carroll flashing out to the free throw line. Heels trying to get it to him, but gives it back to Moore, who penetrates, kicks. Roach, wide open three. It's good! Jeremy Roach drills it. Duke up by 6.
Jay Alter on ESPN Radio. Jeremy Roach with 19. Wendell Moore with 26. Duke scores the last 10 points of the game to beat Syracuse 88-79.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios. Let's ride.
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. About 15 minutes from right now, we will talk some Pels. Our buddy Jake Madison is going to jump aboard with us here. A disappointing loss for the Pels last night at home against the team with the worst record in the NBA. If there was a silver lining, it was that the Lakers also lost. Of course, the Lakers and the Pels presently hold the 9 and 10 seeds for the play-in. And that's massively significant. But then also the Lakers, again, if they finish in the bottom 10 this year, if they finish 10th or worse, the pick the Pels sent was top 10 protected, meaning the Pels would get that top 10 pick back. So root for the Pelicans, root hard against the Lakers as well. So losing last night to Houston was the Lakers losing last night to Houston was a great benefit to LSU. All right, it's after further review. LSU basketball in Tampa. They beat Missouri. Missouri yesterday beat Ole Miss. Shame on Ole Miss for losing to that miserable Missouri basketball team. But LSU, who beat Missouri in Baton Rouge a few weeks ago, was able to do it again today in advance in Tampa at the SEC tournament. So LSU tomorrow will take on Arkansas, an opportunity for LSU to continue to increase or solidify its standing come Selection Sunday. Now, after the game, we'll talk about the game in just a second. After the game, Will Wade was asked about by Sheldon Mickles about the NOA, which came earlier this week, and he did offer a no comment, but then also commented before again saying no comment. But here was Will's entire answer, courtesy of our friends at WBRZ Television.
I can't comment on any of that on any of that stuff. So we haven't been able to comment on it since everything started, and I certainly look forward to commenting when it's all over. But until then, they won't allow us to comment. I will say this, in general, Sheldon, you cover us every day. When stuff's swirling around, you got to narrow your focus. And so you can't worry about everything that's going on around. You got to narrow your focus. We're here to play basketball. whatever's going on doesn't affect anybody on our team. Not one of our players was here, hardly. I mean, it doesn't affect anybody. So we're here to play basketball. They're focused on basketball. We talked about narrowing our focus to basketball, which we did.
Have you seen it yet, the NOA?
I can't comment on anything having to do with the investigation.
All right, so that was Will Wade's comments when asked today after LSU played Arkansas. And look, some might be off-put by the fact that he's in a post-game press conference and he's asked about the NOA. But if you're a reporter, how do you not? It's the first access you've had to Will Wade since the NOA hit. Of course, you're going to ask the question. So good on Sheldon Mickles for asking it because it had to be asked. It wasn't him. Would have been someone else. But two things that stood out with Will's comments. He said, we haven't been able to comment this entire time. I look forward to commenting when it's all over. I look forward to hearing Will Wade's comments when it's all over. To hear, eventually in time, Will Wade's explanation or whatever it is he has to say about the conversation on the wiretap, I can't. That's must-see TV. Put that behind a paywall. I'd buy it. I'm interested in hearing for certain. But it's not going to be until all of this is finalized. And we may still be many months away from that. The other part is Will saying this doesn't affect our team. And he's right. And that may sound naive because these guys are going to get asked about it. And if they pull up ESPN.com, they can read about it. But realistically, Will is right. None of that affects this team. It's not going to affect this team's seeding in the NCAA tournament. It's not going to affect LSU tomorrow against Arkansas. Clearly, it didn't affect LSU today against Missouri. None of these players were here in 2017. Darius Days feels like he was. But, I mean, he was obviously on the team that I think he would have been a freshman on the team where Will was suspended with all the initial part of everything that went on. But it's not going to negatively affect anybody presently playing right now. And I do believe that, where it doesn't involve any players that were playing. It would be very different if, say, everything that surrounded Javonte Smart in that postseason when he was the player in question and he was the one who had been suspended, then was allowed to play. Like, that's different. If DeAndre Ayton were still playing at Arizona when that was the big question, that's different. When you're talking about the player at issue. But no one on this team is affected by it, so it shouldn't affect this team on the floor this week in Tampa or in the NCAA tournament, wherever the committee elects to send them. So LSU beats Missouri today 76-68. If you didn't have a chance to keep an eye on the game, LSU got out early. They were sharp from three. They started 4 of 9 in the first half from three, so they were very efficient behind the arc. They attacked the rim and really dominated a Missouri team that is notoriously careless with the basketball. Missouri had 13 turnovers in the first half. They finished the game with 23. LSU did finish the game with 18 turnovers, but to be very clear, the end sequence of the game was a series of consecutive possessions of LSU turning the ball over and Missouri getting quick baskets when LSU was up 20 with a couple of minutes to play. So throughout the bulk of that game, LSU did exactly what it had to do to keep distance from a bad basketball team. They attacked the rim. LSU finished 56% from the floor. 56% from the floor. They were 28 of 50. That's what they had to do. They attacked it. They went to the rim. They attacked the basket. They finished, and they made their way to the free throw line as well, and by and large, they converted there. LSU was 15 of 18 from the line. You love to see that. 83% for the season. LSU's hovering in the low 70s. I don't have it in front of me, but they were in the 72, 73% range for the season. To be 83% from the line, you need more of that to be able to win in March. So you get those opportunities at the line, you got to convert, and LSU by and large did. So that I told you they started 4 of 9 from the three-point line. They finished 5 of 19, so they went 1 of their next 10. Again, they got very careless. They got a big lead, got careless, took some bad shots, turned the ball over. It allowed Missouri to make the final margin look more respectable than it really was. But in the first half, when LSU needed to put its head down and play really consistent, solid basketball, they did. So that was good to see. And tomorrow's a great opportunity. I mean, LSU's played Arkansas twice, and they've had 2 painful losses to this basketball team. The game in Baton Rouge, you all know, LSU was up 8 inside of 10 minutes to play in that ball game. J.D. Notae was on the bench. with his fourth foul. It looked like LSU was going to have a chance to go on a little bit of a run there, and the exact opposite happened, and Arkansas finished on a 17-2 run to win that ball game. And then we all know what happened up in Fayetteville with the fouls at the end of the game, in Arkansas winning it at the free throw line with the foul on Mwani, putting J.D. Notae on the line. So, yes, absolutely. 2 painful losses to this team, but a team where LSU matches up well. You've got to neutralize Jalen Williams as best you can, and you can't let J.D. Notae go off for 30. And if you're able to keep J.D. Notae in check, defend him exceptionally well, you got a great chance to win this ball game tomorrow. And if you do and you play into the weekend, then I don't think anybody should be sweating anything come Selection Sunday. I mean, LSU we know is in, and I believe they have already avoided the 8-9 game. It's impossible for me to imagine a scenario where they fall on the 8-9 line. I say that understanding fully that's where LSU was last year after winning 11 conference games and playing within a tip-in that rimmed out of winning the SEC championship game against Alabama. But this team, the resume, the net ranking in the top 20, they should be firmly distanced from the 8-9 line, which gives LSU a fantastic opportunity to advance into the second weekend. So see if they can go get one tomorrow against Arkansas. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We'll knock out a break, come back, we'll suck some Pels. Jake Madison of Locked On Pelicans will join us next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Been telling you about the express care locations and the urgent care locations. There's 3 primarily to keep in mind, and 2 kind of border LSU. 1 on Nicholson, directly across from Tiger Stadium. 1 on Highland Road, just through the south gates of LSU. And then the 3rd Baton Rouge General Express Care location is in Dutchtown. Just walk in. Walk-ins are all, of course, it's a walk-in urgent care clinic. You can schedule your appointment in advance if you'd like to. And if you can't get to the urgent care clinic, you can have a virtual visit with that healthcare provider if that's better for you. They do have full suite of urgent care services. If you need labs or x-rays or an EKG, they have that at every location. Vaccines, COVID testing. They even have hydration therapy. So if you want that hydration IV, they can help you at the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. Find one near you at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, this stinks. Pelicans were absolutely in fuego coming out of the All-Star break. Tough loss against Denver. And then they went and kind of, they kind of wet the bed. Well, look, Memphis is really good, obviously. They wet the bed last night at home against Orlando, albeit without your best player. You don't have Brandon Ingram. I understand it's difficult. And then this. Pelicans just tweeted a bit ago, C.J. McCollum is in the health and safety protocols. He's out for tomorrow's game against the Hornets. So now, no Brandon Ingram, no C.J. McCollum. That is just poo. Technical term, by the way. I guess our timing couldn't be better. We'll bring Jake Madison onto the show to talk Pels. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing well on like a day that is just the most Pelicans thing ever, it feels like.
Sucks. All right. Where to begin? All right, let's start with last night. They lose at home to Orlando. I mean, I look at it and I go, all right, you don't have your best player. I guess I sort of understand it. What's your thoughts on the game last night?
I get it to a certain degree. Brandon Ingram has kind of been the heart and soul of this team all season long. You've clearly seen what this team looks like with one go-to scorer on it. Brandon Ingram for most of the year, and it hasn't been particularly good. You add C.J. McCollum into that mix, you add another dimension to the offense, and they took off coming out of the All-Star break. So to lose one of those guys again and only have one guy who can really get his shot off and create off the dribble, you're going to run into some trouble. But at the same point, they were 8.5-point favorites over the Orlando Magic. And watching that game, the final score wasn't as close as they really made it seem at times. They kind of got smashed early on in the beginning because the Orlando Magic just wanted that game more than New Orleans did. And I think that was the most surprising thing to see. One night after they just did not bring it against Memphis and did not match that team's energy, they really kind of failed in that regard again, and that has not been what they've done under head coach Willie Green, and that's kind of a failure on everyone to not get up for a game that you absolutely need to win if you really want to get into the postseason. And for Willie Green, that's maybe his biggest failing as a head coach so far this season, which is actually a lot in his corner and saying a lot about him, to not have your guys ready to go and play that game and beat an inferior team.
When they've had moments like this already this season, I know there's been a couple of moments where Willie Green has sort of gone at the team publicly, and they've responded. How do they handle this here? How do they respond to this loss?
It's a good question. I think they've got to spend some time trying to kind of figure out what they can be doing better with the guys that they have. And you're not going to be able to replicate the points that Brandon Ingram's going to give you, that C.J. McCollum is going to give you. But you can control that effort, and you can really try and improve what's going on the defensive end. And that's really what's undone them these past 3 games. The offense at times has been okay. And it took a Herculean effort from Nikola Jokic, the reigning MVP, just to beat them in overtime. They easily could have won that game. Yeah. But their defense is really struggling right now, particularly after that 4-0 start. You're seeing teams really get easy looks against them, wide open threes, and those teams are making them. They're having a little bit of trouble on the defensive glass. they need to have guys out there that are committed to getting some stops. If you can do it, this team can actually get out and score, particularly in transition as they've increased their points per game in that area. But if they're not going to try on defense, and they didn't really try on defense against the Orlando Magic, you saw backdoor cutters all the time. Those guys were just going towards the rim, and no one knew where they were coming from, and it made it life so easy for Orlando. You've got to kind of pick that up. If you can, the play-in tournament is still a very realistic option, even if the next couple of games, this home stretch that they're on, becomes a whole lot more difficult without C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram. And the good news is they're going to be in the running because no one really wants that 9th or 10th spot, I think, right now. The Lakers are in free fall. Portland's not trying to win games. The Kings are still the Kings and absolutely terrible. New Orleans still has a very good chance at being able to try and get into the postseason.
Jake Madison's with us. He's on Twitter at NOLA Jake. All right, so where does the offense come from against Charlotte if you have no BI and no CJ?
This one's easy. They got to just put everything through Jonas Valanciunas. They should have done that earlier on against the Orlando Magic in that game, but he was 2 of 10 to start in the first half, only had 4 points at halftime. He needs to be more aggressive, and you saw him start to do that when he realized he had a size advantage every time going down the court. He finished with 26 in the second half. Charlotte doesn't really have a center. This has been their one glaring weakness all season long, something they have not been able to address at all, and it's why they're sliding in the standings a little bit. This is a game where Jonas Valanciunas should get an easy 30 points, 40 points, I even think. And I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but that's how big of a hole this is for Charlotte. They've got to feed him. He needs to be aggressive getting into post position. Find someone that can get him the ball. Maybe it's a guy like Jose Alvarado playing more minutes than he has in the past. Get the ball to Jonas Valanciunas and just let him cook because there's absolutely no one on Charlotte that's going to be able to guard him.
Jake, let's take a little bit of a big picture look. I don't know how far ahead you've looked at the schedule. Tankathon has remaining strength of schedule for the Pels, the 26th toughest. I mean, like at the bottom, like a very manageable schedule. What is realistic for this team the rest of the way, provided obviously they get BI back healthy and CJ out of the health and safety protocols?
I still think of it as if they don't make the postseason, the play-in tournament, it's going to be a disappointment. Even if BI is on the longer end of that period that he's going to be out, the 7 to 10 days, then they said they're going to reassess. So it's not guaranteed that he's going to be back after that. C.J. McCollum could be back as soon as 5 days. That's the shortest health and safety protocol, so he's missing the next couple of games no matter what. Look, no one wants this 10th spot. The Lakers, they should be – any team that's playing the Lakers right now should be Pelicans fans' second favorite team because we want the Lakers to lose as much as possible, get their top 10 pick, and they are absolutely losing. So they are not really going to be in a fighting contention for that 9th or 10th spot with the Pelicans if New Orleans really wants it. Again, Portland's not trying to win. Sacramento is terrible. There's maybe the Spurs, but even then, who knows how good that team truly is. So New Orleans, even without these star players, you still have a very good center in Jonas Valanciunas. And I think that should be enough to carry you for this next little bit of stretch. And then, as you mentioned, the schedule eases up. It was those first couple of games coming out of the All-Star break that were the tough ones. When you've got the Jazz in there, you've got the Phoenix Suns in there twice, you had the Denver Nuggets. Those were the real hard games. You're kind of past that, so it's going to ease up. So I still think it's play-in tournament or bust for New Orleans right now.
Give me the what's interesting, Jake? It's like we look at a team that's 27-39. And we actually have reasons to be optimistic, which is strange, right? I mean, they're fighting to just barely be out of the 10 worst teams in the NBA. But there is, I think, reason for optimism. They've still got a little ways to go. But if I asked you today, give me the reason why you think if people should engage and be optimistic about the team the rest of this season, but also the franchise moving forward. What is it?
That's like the eternal question you ask me on this, right? I think it's didn't we make a graphic for this one time of like, should you emotionally invest in the Pelicans?
That's a good memory, man. Like that's been a few years, but that's a good memory. Paul, did you make that graphic or did you make the graphic, Jake? Who made that graphic?
I think it was Andrew Smith, who's a great Twitter follow, did it at one point because I'd come on with you, right? I wouldn't come on until after Christmas, and then it was like, should we pay attention?
Should we care? Remember that, dude? That is such a good memory. I totally remember that. I'm going to go find that graphic again.
I fail at this every time, right? This is why no one shows up to the arena at times, right? They show you these flashes and show you they could be good, and every time someone asks me this question, I'm like, yeah, look. you have C.J. McCollum under contract for the future. Brandon Ingram's under contract for the future. You have most of your core guys locked up, and this team looks a whole lot better than the team that started 1-12. So when you point to their record, they got off to an awful start where Brandon Ingram missed 8 games during that stretch. No Zion Williamson. You add all these things back in, and if this team is healthy and things break a little bit their way, this is a well above 500 team that should be pushing for not just the play-in tournament, but the 6th, 5th, 4th seed potentially. There's enough talent here to be that good, and you've seen flashes of it. The problem is something just always happens, or they fall on their face against the Orlando Magic, and that burns people. So that's why I'm always hesitant now to say, yes, emotionally invest into this team. But still, the future is bright. That trade for C.J. McCollum really added a dimension that they had been missing for multiple years, just dynamic guard play. Whether that's C.J. McCollum as the facilitator, being a lead guard, which he never really had the opportunity to do in Portland, and you're seeing it. He's regularly getting 7, 8, 9 assists. This is a guy that is such a threat on the ball that teams send 2 at him every single time. That opens it up for Brandon Ingram. That's why you saw Brandon Ingram on that heater averaging 29 points per game over his past 6 before all of this. That's why it's going to make life easier for Zion Williamson. Yeah. And if they decide to double Zion Williamson, you still have C.J. McCollum, who's a 40% shooter from 3 off the dribble. New Orleans has never had a guy like that. There's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about the future. It's just, they're cursed or something like that, and why this is always, something is coming up with them. But there's still reasons to be optimistic about it. They've got the right pieces in place, and now what they need to do is tinker around the edges. That's always the easiest thing to do. That's the easiest part for a small market to do. They have enough picks. They have enough flexibility that they should be able to do that this offseason, to bolster the bench up a little bit to help you weather a storm when a guy is out injured or something happens with this roster.
All right, obligatory Zion question for all the people that just have to know about Zion. I'm just asking you open-ended. Just say something.
That was
yeah, that's it. Just how about this? Zion, go.
He wasn't there the other night against the Orlando Magic, but it sounds like he will be in the building on Friday against the Charlotte Hornets. I think that gives the team a little bit of a boost. The fact that he's back here is a big deal. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say things are fine. The fact that he's back in New Orleans is a good first step, but there's still a frostiness between him and the organization. He's contractually obligated to be here, so he had to kind of show up at some point. But it's good news because it means his foot is healing. He wouldn't be here if he still needed this to be rehabbed at the Nike facilities. This means it's at least on the right trajectory, which, look, we weren't sure of. There were concerns that maybe he would need an additional surgery. It doesn't sound like that is required right now. That's a good first step. The other thing is, despite the losses these past 3, the vibes around this team are still very high. They're still really fun. There's really very much a brotherhood going on and a family atmosphere in the locker room with these players buying into what Willie Green is doing. I think getting him around that with how much fun these guys are having, and look at their bench when anything is going on. They barely sit. They're jumping up and down, having the best time. Just getting Zion around that maybe melts some of the ice between him and the organization. So this is only a good thing that he's back, but there's still a long way to go.
Jake Madison, Locked on Pels. Make sure you subscribe to the Locked on Pelicans podcast every day, 5 days a week. Get your Pelicans coverage there. Jake does an awesome job. Subscribe up. Follow him on Twitter at NolaJake. Always appreciate you, man. If you find that graph, please send it to me. I'm aching to remember to go back into that bit of nostalgia on the show.
You got it. Thanks for having me on, Matt.
All right, bro. We'll talk to you later. That is Jake Madison. This is After Further Review. So last night was gross. Losing to Orlando is disgusting. I mean, you lost to the team with the worst record in the NBA on your home floor when you're trying to not only earn a spot in the play-in, but also jump ahead of the Lakers, pushing them down into the bottom 10, which, of course, means if they finish there, you would get their top 10 pick, which is top 10 protected. So that was gross. Like, losing at home to Orlando was gross. The benefit, of course, is the Lakers lost on the road at Houston, which is the second worst team in the NBA, only bested or worsted by Orlando. So that was a good thing. For what it's worth, I mentioned with Jake, the Pelicans, according to Tankathon, have the 26th ranked strength of schedule remaining. There's only 4 teams that have an easier schedule the rest of the way than New Orleans, okay? So it is easy the rest of the way, relatively, the rest of the way for New Orleans. the number one toughest strength of schedule the rest of the way? The Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers strength of schedule, 565. Lakers have the toughest schedule the rest of the way. If the Pels don't end up getting that pick back, I would be astonished considering the absolute dumpster fire the Lakers have been, how disengaged they have been, save LeBron playing hero ball one night and scoring 56. And then, of course, they come back the next time out and lose to Houston. So when you look at what they have ahead schedule-wise, yeah, it favors New Orleans. There are a lot of very positive ancillary things going on around this organization. You trade for C.J. McCollum. Zion is engaged again. You're likely going to be in the play-in. There's a really good chance you get that top 10 protected pick back. There's a lot of reason to care. I am super bummed they lost last night to Orlando, and super bummed that C.J. McCollum's going to be out now because of the health and safety protocols. That absurdity. Are we still doing the COVID thing? Like, are we still doing that? I guess so. I didn't know we were still doing that. Whatever. All right. It's after further review.
AFR.
I wasn't ready to go to break. We're brought to you by Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the mall, Louisiana. No worries. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV like conference tournaments. Oh, what a great time of year. Conference tournaments. By the way, the Otter just texted me. Otter has 6 picks tonight. Colucci has 4. You've got 10 picks coming your way. You want to watch all of that action in one place? Pluckers. And remember, Thursdays, all you can eat boneless bites. Take the little chicken bites, breaded, fried, tossed in your favorite wing sauce. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. All you can eat all night long on Thursday. So, get by Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the mall, Louisiana. Find your table or your bar stool. Plop down. Watch all of the college basketball action. Eat wings. Drink beer. Bet on sports with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It's at Pluckers, where, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed.
Time for myself.
We found our why.
Have you found yours?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, I got a text into the show from Dantas Johnson. He said, so the Saints never made an offer for Russell Wilson, only Washington and Philly did. And he sent me a screenshot of something from a radio host in Jake Heaps up in Seattle, who apparently went on KOA in Denver, and said the reason this deal happened so quickly and progressed quickly is because, one, Denver was working on this behind the scenes for a while now. The other is because the Seahawks were limited. There's not real leverage if there's only a certain amount of teams that Russell Wilson was actually interested in or willing to waive his no-trade clause for. He mentions Wilson, turned down the Washington offer and turned down an offer from Philly during the Combine. So, according to this, that would tell you that the Seahawks had offers from Washington and Philly, and Wilson was not willing to waive his no-trade clause. That's one report from a radio host in Seattle. I do not know, but he was on KOA in Denver, which is the flagship for the Broncos. KOA in Denver is it's a good station. Anyway, but that to the texter's point, that doesn't mean the Saints didn't call. I mean, a lot of times you make the phone call to hear what they're seeking, right? Like, hey, what do you want for Russell Wilson? You start. Well, if they tell you what they're trying to get from him, if you're not even in the same ballpark, why do you even counter? I mean, that's why. So, if you think the Saints didn't call about Russell Wilson, you're higher than Musso. What? By the way, Muse.
I was so uncalled for. I'm sitting here just minding my own business, perfectly sober.
Sound a little slow over there, buddy.
No, I'm fine.
You sound, Paulie, did he sound a little slow on that when he grabbed the mic?
A little bit.
Sounded a little slow, didn't he?
Damn, Paul.
The reaction time goes down a bit. By the way, so Otter has 10 picks.
Bruh.
So he's got six basketball, and Colucci's got 4 NHL picks. Got 10 picks that Otter's got to get through in the next segment.
That could be a challenge.
For Otter?
Yeah. Nah, I think it could be. Just a small
Minding
one.
the clock?
Maybe.
on.
I mean, just a little bit.
Surely
maybe
you jest.
a slight issue, maybe? I don't know.
He's got no shot. We might as well break now to give him 12 minutes to get through the picks.
And still,
he might have trouble.
He might struggle.
He's going to be giving us stats from Elon's game back in November when the kid fouled out, and that's some of the reasoning for why it's going to happen. Prepare yourself. Get your DraftKings Sportsbook app ready. Get it open. Otter's going to give us 10 picks. 10 picks coming up here in just a few minutes. We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. What about a cash-out refi? Maybe with the spring, you've been telling you, man, it's a great time. You want to add a pool, add an outdoor kitchen. You want to do home improvement. Maybe you want new floors, whatever it is. Cash-out refi is a great opportunity. Take the equity in your home, take some cash out, and use that for that home improvement project. Great time to do it. GMFSmortgage.com to find the local loan officer nearest you. Louisiana's largest local lender is GMFS Mortgage. Billions in loans since they opened their doors back in 1999. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. So Tiger basketball won today. They beat Missouri by 8. They play Arkansas tomorrow. Baseball, if you haven't heard yet, The LSU baseball series with Bethune-Cookman is they've had a schedule change because of the expectation of inclement weather in the area tomorrow. So tomorrow's game against Bethune-Cookman has been moved up to noon. So the first game of the series has been moved from Friday night to Friday at noon. So make that change. That game could well be over by the time we get on air tomorrow. Jay Johnson did talk. Can you play 3, please? This was Jay Johnson talking about the series against Bethune-Cookman and why this is a good spot on the schedule for LSU.
Really athletic team, really good starting pitching, at least as far as tomorrow and Saturday. They did not have a season last year because of COVID, but it's a perennial NCAA tournament team. They took Florida the Monday of a regional 2 or 3 years ago. Well coached. They have a lot of things they like to do on offense as far as bunting and running and all of those types of things to try to create pressure. So, yeah, it's a good opponent. And I think our schedule is set up nicely when you look at a team like McNeese and New Orleans. Those guys will challenge for that conference championship. Tulane will obviously challenge for the American, Louisiana, and the Sun Belt, these guys and their league. So I think that works out really good for us, and I think it's a good next step in the season.
Someone's got to go let Jay know that you don't say. It's got to be ULL. Someone's got to let him know. All the other coaches do it.
Honestly, here in New Orleans was kind of weird, too. I'm so used to UNO.
Yeah, it was odd. He's new.
He'll get it.
He's new. He'll get it. Okay. In time. Jay also was talking about the defense. That's been obviously a big talking point here, especially coming off 5 errors against Tech, 10 over 3 games in Houston. So they're going to clean it up.
I thought last night was an excellent played game. If you didn't know the backstory of the previous couple games, then you would thought that's an elite defensive team, and that's where we want to go to.
Okay. TBD. See that sample size grow. We did mention I don't want to pick, but you failed to turn 2 in one instance. You had an error. Well, it was ruled a wild pitch. We talked about this earlier. It was ruled a wild pitch on McNeese. Should have been a pass ball that allowed McNeese's first run to score. I'm only pointing it out because Jay said like that you'd think that was an elite defensive team. I'm not sure I would have gone that far, but let's see. Put together a clean weekend. It's a step. It's a positive step. Put together a clean weekend against Bethune-Cookman starting tomorrow at noon out at the box. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us here. Brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. A couple things I want to remind you about. Number one, inspections. Joe, we're getting to the spring, and the spring is when we have hail season and spring showers. You know all that. So when you're going to have that much rain, hail, around that time of year, there's 2 ways to know if you have roof damage. 1, get up on the roof and inspect it. 2, wait until you have water spots on your roof. One option is better than the other. Let us help you. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me. That's Ryan Terrio. That's Richard Tilley. That's Ron Richmond. That's Sam Hay. That's our team at Hudco. HudcoRoofing.com. We're a local company that's been in Louisiana, born in North Louisiana for 20 years. We're local. Louisiana people, Louisiana products. The shingles we use are CertainTeed shingles from the CertainTeed plant in Shreveport, Louisiana. When we use tiles, we get them from Hecker Tiles right there in Tangipahoa. Like, we use Louisiana products. We are local. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. It's so easy. Go to the website, HudcoRoofing.com, hit the contact form, fill it out right there. Easy. We'll set up to get a no obligation inspection. You do not have to be home. One of our field inspectors will come, get up on the roof, walk the roof, give you a full detailed report. If we recommend a roof replacement, then we'll help you file with your insurance company and get that claim approved. So you pay your deductible, pick out the shingle color, boom, you got a new roof. We try to make it as easy as possible. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Let me knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. Otter Locks is next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns in stock with $2,750 off MSRP. Shop our inventory or let us custom order your next vehicle with up to $2,000 bonus cash, our 1,000,000-mile warranty, and more. Shop BayouCDJR.com or visit us off I-10 in La Plaza. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Take a deep breath. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth the short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, incomparable and often incomprehensible, from Las Vegas, Nevada, Jimmy Ott. How are you, Otter?
Hanging in there, Matthew.
I'm sure you're just
slip through my fingers, but even I have standards. I'm not betting every MAC game today. But anyway. All right, you ready? You got your pen? We got a lot.
You have no standards, but I am ready to go.
Colucci, where's the horn, Musso?
Hey! All right, hit me with it, Pat Benatar.
All right, Boston Bruins, puck line, -1.5, -120.
Ooh, okay.
Florida,
Feeling it.
Florida, -1.5, -143.
Is that that's a puck line or is it money line?
Puck line, -1.5.
Okay.
Colorado, money line, -119.
Okay.
And Minnesota, -168, money line.
All right. Boston and Florida with the puck line. Colorado, Minnesota with the money line.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Chalk Lucci. There you go. Thank you, Chalk Lucci.
Chalk Lucci!
All right. Six pack for me. You ready?
Yes, let's go.
Virginia Tech, pick them against Notre Dame.
Okay.
Utah State, can't see what they are right now. It's loud in here. I'm watching 19 TVs looking at an odd board. Utah State. Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Oh, I like it when I was a kid. I used to call them Penn State.
Penn State. Got it.
Penn State. Wazoo, plus a big number, 8.5 against the Bruins.
Okay.
Wahoos, Cavaliers, Charlottesville, UVA, Virginia, plus the 4 against the recency bias North Carolina Tar Heels.
Okay.
And then San Diego State, the Aztecs. They own this town, the Mountain West Conference tournament. Give me the Aztecs.
That's out in Vegas? Yeah.
I only got 4 tournaments in Vegas right now. I won't see a dribble.
Oh, wow. Which book are you at there, Otter?
Circa, the best, baby. It's the best. I mean, it is phenomenal.
I love
19 screens right now, and then the odds board together. You know, I got a little VIP seating, so it's where the beats in the studios are. It really is nice. You know what's funny, Matt? Last year I was here for this day. This is the most games for championship week. Okay, today is because some of the tournaments, their final is on Saturday, like the Big East and some others. So they don't play during the day or here in the morning tomorrow. But there was about 15 people in the early session last year. There was about 300 in here, the early session.
Wow.
So we were masked up last year. No mask anymore. I don't know. Or maybe it's just getting out that just want a little hidden secret that this is a, bucket list to come to March Madness in Vegas, okay? But this championship week is a big deal. I'm sitting with some guys from Kansas City. They flew up today in a private plane, about 8 of them. They're flying back about midnight tonight.
Wow.
One day. I said, y'all bring me back. It's the barbecue. It's got winners.
It's good to be it's good to be guys in Minnesota with a private plane, I guess, huh?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's nice. So anyway.
How long are you going to be out there, Otter?
Come back Sunday.
All right, so you can enjoy all the action. Hey, what do you think? Hey, before you go, what do you think of? So LSU wins. What do you think about their seeding potential right now?
This was a big one to avoid falling lower than a 6. I really don't think they'll fall below a 6 now. You don't lose anything by losing to Arkansas tomorrow. If they win, then you could maybe solidify this, maybe a 5, But I think this was a big one today. The Bama win and this one I thought were really big. I want to stay away from those 7, 8, 9 seeds. So I think 6 is – there's really not a whole lot of difference between 5, 6, and 7. I mean, I'm sorry, 4, 5, and 6. In 7, I don't want to play that 2 seed. And now this year, 2 seed depends on who you get. I mean, are you going to get a Duke or are you going to get a Wisconsin?
Yeah.
There's a big difference between those two. So we'll see.
All right.
Is that enough for you?
All right. I got it ready. All right. So, again, Colucci's pick, Boston and Florida on the puck line, Colorado, Minnesota on the money line. Otter gave you Virginia Tech, Utah State, Penn State, Wazoo, UVA, and San Diego State.
Oh, you can be my secretary anytime you want,
10 winners, Otter. 10 winners. 10 Parlay it, Otter. You're getting them all. 10 for 10.
Picks absolutely free.
Parlay it, bet the mortgage. Don't do that. I'm just kidding.
Roscoe and Hanny as Jolie Pearl tonight.
All right, Otter. We appreciate it. We'll send them their way. Thanks so much. Enjoy your time out there, man.
Good luck.
All right, that is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us. Otter's out in Vegas, but good enough to jump aboard for a little Otter Locks. As you heard him say, Roscoe and Handy there over at Jolie Pearl. just down the street from us here in downtown Baton Rouge. Great spot if you're looking for a place tonight. Lots of place to get out and watch the ball games. Really fun time of year, obviously. All right. We are wrapping up a busy Thursday AFR. Muse, what did you learn today?
The Athletic, they are not cowards. They gave Kim Mulkey Coach of the Year.
How about that? Give me a round of applause to The Athletic, everybody. How about that? So everybody go subscribe to The Athletic if you haven't yet. At least for a day. Then get your money back or whatever you want to do. Because they did, in fact, honor Kim Mulkey justifiably. Paulie, what did you learn today?
I learned that Otter respected the clock and got through all 10 picks.
That's
he
incredible.
made it through all 10.
He made it through. And he didn't give us a take on any. He just went boom, boom, because he knew he had to get through it. Good for you, Otter. Lots of winners there. Winners galore right there.
What did you learn, Matt?
C.J. McCollum. Health and safety protocols for the NBA. The NFL said, the hell with it. They're done with all the COVID protocols, completely done with it all. We're still in a reality where star players in the NBA aren't on an NBA floor because of the health and safety protocol. Kick rocks, NBA. All right, it's going to do it for us. Game Time with Jimmy Ott is coming up next in Baton Rouge. Muse, Paulie, thanks y'all. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. As we speak, vehicles on the truck on the way to South Point Volkswagen. And if you want a sneak peek, if you want to reserve that vehicle now, if you don't want to fight the masses trying to get out to the lot the day they arrive, log on right now to southpointvw.com. You can reserve that vehicle that's on the way to the dealership right now at southpointvw.com. Again, new and certified pre-owned. Great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, go shop the pre-owned lots, but make sure you shop South Point Volkswagen as well. They got an amazing selection. They sell so much new inventory. They obviously get trade-in, so a great certified pre-owned inventory as well, both Volkswagens and all makes and models at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz.